Thank you for having me, and I think it's great that we are here. And particularly with this now, focused on the Value Toolkit, we as British Standards are very happy to have been involved. As the UK's national standards body, one of the things that we take great pride in is actually taking innovation and actually trying to help with that implementation. We've already heard twice that innovation is easy, but implementation is hard. And a part of that is actually about permeation, discovery, getting it to people so that they can look at it and consume it. And what we like to think is that's something that we tend to help with in British Standards. And you'll see that we do lots of things around nascent topics, innovation, and you even think that as part of the wider Construction Innovation Hub programme, it's not just the Value Toolkit we're helping with, we're also talking about the National Digital Twin programme and other bits and pieces as well. So we are here and we're trying our best to support these things. And in this instance, we're supporting the Value Toolkit. I won't go through the title again. I've only got 5 minutes, and we've already heard it once. But the idea is that with Flex 390, what we're trying to do is have something that's free at point of use, that people can take, that describe the requirements needed to support value-based decision-making in your organisation. What it does is it sets out the rules of engagement, what you need to follow, and the idea is that the Value Toolkit is one of the ways that you can implement this. So by using the toolkit alongside the Flex, you are setting the requirements within your organisation, and then you actually have the convenient toolkit that you can use then to implement it and make it a reality. So it's a double header. We're setting those rules, and because of that then, if people want to augment things and make them suit their organisation, like we've heard already, how different public sector departments, those are different, then those rules are hopefully high level and flexible enough to enable this to happen. So it sets out a number of those different things. And particularly when we try and think about it and think about it from a legacy point of view, pulling it into standards is, I like to think, a fairly successful way of doing it. What you'll see is that as this has been released, it's live today, and I did check just before I went on, you can go on the website, you can click comment, you can get it from our shop. Heaven forbid I'd stand up here and those links wouldn't work. But the idea is that what we've done in this first iteration is that we put it into what I like to call standardese. It's gone into the standards language so that actually you can now compare and contrast it with other things in our portfolio, because we have, just in the built environment, over 7,000 standards, and there are some 50+ thousand standards out there across all domains. I admit I've only read about 10% of them. But the idea is that there are ones on different topics, and some of you in the room who are quite au fait with procurement, I can see a few faces now who are looking back at me, will know that we have British standards on construction procurement already. Things like BS 8534 and the 10845 series go into quite detail about construction procurement, and the idea being that these first ones, this first iteration of this Flex talks about it in the language so you can compare and contrast. And then the next iteration, as we go forward, is going to bring it more closely aligned and support those works. Because what we live in is a kind of one world, one standard model, and actually looking at the innovation and then trying to pull everything together, we can get a holistic set of good practice that helps organisations or whichever stakeholders you are to be able to support what you're doing, create value, and actually inform what you're doing based on value-based decision-making. And that's what we're ultimately trying to achieve. And to be honest, I haven't really got much more to say than that. It's already been talked about twice, so I'll keep this very brief. All I'll say is give you two calls to action. The first is go to our website and download it. So if you go to the BSI shop and just type in 390, it'll come up. And it's free at point of use. Just go on it, download it, read it. I have read it. It is a fairly good piece of text as well. I would never lie to you. So make sure you do download it and have a read of it. The second one is if you Google standards development, it's one of our other websites where you can actually comment. And this is probably the most important thing, because like you've seen with the work for the Value Toolkit itself, it's the wisdom of the crowd that makes it. And actually by pulling together the views of everyone in the way that these things work, we can improve them. And now we know that there's going to be a second iteration of this. Your comments can feed into making it even better. So those two actions: one, download it and read it; two, give us a comment. Even if it's a positive one, you read it and you think it's the greatest thing you've ever read, submit that comment. It'll be the first time I've ever seen a positive comment, but I'd appreciate it all the same. But anything from terminology to formatting to technical things to pointing out some other standard it should be linked to or some other great pieces of work, we would love to hear it. So with that, I'd like to gratefully celebrate the launch of this Flex to support the Value Toolkit and the legacy of the Innovation Hub. Long may value-based decision-making continue. Thank you.